Fabulous. Okay. Right. Okay. Right, so find yourself your seat. By that means, get comfortable and get settled in your posture. So, sometimes, and also if your back's aching, shuffle yourself back so you've got a little bit of support behind you on, a wall or a side of a sofa or whatever. But ideally, you're self-supporting the spine. But if it's aching you, if it's hurting, then have support. Feel that your sitting bones are nicely rooted and that the spine feels tall. So, we know that really we're going to focus on our breathing. If we know that if we are sitting like this, you're not allowing the full capacity of the lungs to be available to you. So if you let the shoulder blades kind of sink down. Sorry, excuse me. That shouldn't ping. Technology, let me out. Okay, right. No more technology. Someone's going to come in a minute. So, right. I need this obviously more than just as much as everyone. Take a few deep breaths. So whatever's happening in this week, this moment, this day, right now, this is our practice. This is your practice, your time for you. So you've got your posture settled, and then you let the breath settle. I want us to continue through our meditations at the beginning with the ocean breath. If you're really familiar with it, just begin when you're ready. That slight controlling of the airflow through the throat. So it slows it down and you make that gentle sound of the ocean. And if you're just begin that. And if you're less familiar with that, it's that gentle closing or restricting of the throat by it's the glottis area, and you gently feel like that's closing. And just to recap for you, it's that feeling that if you had a small hand mirror here and you wanted to kind of mist it up with your hot breath, that's the action, that slight restriction in the glottis. It takes time to settle into this breath. Excuse me. So this is the reality. And the breath. Just settle in time, using your ocean breath, to establish a conscious breathing practice. It benefits your life massively. Our breath responds to everything we do, and without conscious thought. So that with that in mind, if we move into a stressful situation that is out of our control and our breath responds to that. And if you want to feel like you have more control, if you have this conscious breathing practice, this established awareness of the breath, you can start to change your breathing, and then it has, you know, far-reaching effects on the whole of the body and all the systems of the body, you know, calming your nervous system. You can increase your optimization of oxygen coming in by calming the breath using nasal breathing. So, you know, it's keeps on giving, this breath practice, and the more you do it, the more established it becomes, and it filters into your life. The jaw is relaxed, the belly is relaxed. And what's happening as you're using this time to settle is the nervous system is settling. When we move into our physical practice, we can bring this Ujjayi breath with us. So that becomes the constant. And even if we're flowing and it's more challenging, we can kind of have this backdrop of this steady breath all the time. So we are, in a moment, going to move into our physical practice. And it's going to start really gently, and then we will, you know, this is morning time, so we will start to, we'll get things going, get things moving and releasing and sort of challenging ourselves at times. But really what's, you know, what I want us to do is kind of sort of that reframing is important, and without thinking, oh God, hard work, but actually, you know, that kind of just delighting in your body, delighting in being there, rather than layering it with everything's creaky and achy and everything. Just be like, oh, a playful inquiry into the body. Okay, so please feel free to keep the Ujjayi breath going, and then let the head drop down. Just gently just use the weight of the head ear towards the shoulder on one side. So you get this big stretch down the opposite side of the neck. But you're not forcing it. You're simply just letting the weight of the head drop to one side. And then we're going to gradually let the head roll forwards, chin to chest, and up the other side. So keep moving. Rolling the head forward so the chin is drawing a semicircle, thereabouts. Let the muscles in the face relax. And just be really present and aware of what's happening in the neck, how it feels. It works so hard for us, our neck. It's a pretty delicate structure. So just to give it a little bit of time and attention is important. And then bring it up to center. And rotate it round really smoothly. Stretch your vision. So see how far Stretch the eyeballs, look behind you, and then float the head round, listening to the neck. Sometimes I think it sounds a little bit like popping candy. Or maybe that's just mine. Float it round. Go side to side, make the movement as smooth as you can. Just really listening in, tuning into your body, delighting in it, rather than adding on any layers of criticism, disappointment, all that. We'll leave that for the outside world. Plenty of that going on out there. Okay, last one. Finishing when you look over your left shoulder, if you began with the right, ease your way back. So if you're sitting cross-legged, it's a good time to change the cross of your legs. And then just roll your shoulders round. And then reach your arms out and have your palms facing upwards. Okay, so the shoulder blades are drawing down. Okay, there's a lift in the chest and the arms are just extending out from the shoulders and they're going to move with the shoulders. You're not moving the arms independently like that. So we're just going to rotate the chest round and obviously the shoulders come with it. Rotate the chest, turning just the rib cage. So using all the sideways muscles, come back through center and then rotate the other way. Brilliant. One more like this. Rotate. Really be conscious that you're not moving the arms other than they're just coming with that upper body. Oh, geez, I can't, for that pinging, that's my computer. If you can hear it, hopefully you can't. Okay, and then let the arms rest down and let the shoulders roll. You know, we can't always wait for the world to be quiet to get on with our yoga practice. We just have to ignore it. Right, arms out. Okay, and then the palms face in. So your palms are facing your face. So that, you know, this is a big stretch for the arms and the wrists. Let the chest lift. And then again, we rotate this open twist, just using all the muscles that kind of wrap around our torso to get ourselves as far around as we can. It's not going to be as far as the usual twist, but you're really toning all those muscles around the side body. Move again, side to side. It's like a pepper grinder effect, this upper part of your trunk moving separately to the lower trunk. And then back. Okay, let the arms, shoulders rest and roll them around. Okay, so again, the arms come out, but this time we start with the palms facing up and then turn the fingertips down, but really be active here with the hands and the wrists. So your fingertips are trying to, you know, really, the tops of the fingers really trying to face the floor. So this is, I mean, I can really feel this across my forearms and my wrists, and even actually across my hands and my palms. And then again, rotate. Keep turning the palms out and really feeling that stretch through the arms, the inner seams of the arms. Come back to center. It's amazing how heating this simple but quite powerful movement is. Okay, one more. each side. And then back. And then again, rest. And just checking in, everything is still fluid and got movement. Right, one hand down, but the other arm, before we reach it over, I want you to just reach it up as far as you can. Those sort of fingertips are reaching as far as you can up, and then gently soften that supporting elbow as you reach over. But keep reaching, keep lengthening. Try not to collapse the chest. We kind of have that sort of feeling that the chest stays open. And then back, other side. But firstly, remember that reach, really reaching up, length and space, and then over. Ease your way back. Okay, let's move. If you've got a cushion or a block or anything that you're sitting on, move it out of the way and come to child's pose. So knees fairly wide for this, and then toe tips come together, and then just ease your way in, reaching the hands forward, letting your torso just sort of sway on its way down. And this is, the more I do this, the more I feel that it's vital and it's an important part of our practice daily. You know, it's a great way to stretch the spine, keep the weight in your heels. And you know, not everyone's child's pose looks the same. So if you've got issues with your knees, you might not want to have them so bent. And so sometimes you can put a cushion behind your knees. But you can still get that length and that reach and that space and extension in the spine. But then what I want us to really focus on, once we've got that outer stretch happening, is that breathing into the back body, that encouraging or inviting yourself to breathe into the back of the lungs. You know, we want our lungs in the best working order as we can possibly get them. So exploring all areas. And as you breathe into the lungs, and the more you do it, you can kind of access that, sensate that sort of feeling that your ribs are slightly expanding. You get this lovely stretch for the intercostal muscles. You know, yoga is it's such a wonderful practice for many billion reasons. But you know, you've got this lovely inquiry of the body working from the inside out. You know, the practice is kind of working from the inside out, not just working on your outer shell. You're working on your insides, in your mind, in your soul, in your spirit, and everything. It's an all-rounder. So take a few more breaths. And then we slowly rise up, all fours, knees under hips, spread the fingers. Okay, really feel that you're distributing the weight evenly through the whole of your hand. Encourage the shoulder blades to draw down a little bit. And we always keep this core just slightly switched on to support our back. And as we move into our cat-cow, we start with a flat spine, breathing in. And then as you start to move into the practice, you breathe out, rounding, living that lovely stretch as you arch and round into your Halloween cat type shape. And then as you breathe in, the shoulder blades draw down and the chest moves forwards. So we lengthen the front body. And find your rhythm with your breath. Breathing out as you round your spine into the space above, and then as you start to breathe in, you invite the heart to move forwards. Close your eyes. This is inquiry for the spine. So if you're feeling a bit, like it's not moving all that much, don't worry. Just let it slowly kind of unpick and unfurl over time. And this is why doing, a couple of practices a week at least, really you see the benefits so much and really reap the rewards of that commitment to your practice. And then let yourself slide back to child's pose. Okay. Slowly round your body up, and again, still working with the spine. Fingertips are going to come behind you, just for support. And we inhale and we lift the chest. Gently the shoulder blades draw together as we lift the heart. And then again, just be mindful of the neck, but if it feels good to stretch, take the head back, lovely for the throat. And then keep that length in your front of your torso as you bring your hands down and lay your forehead down last. And of course the back gently rounds here, and then unfurl as you come up. And we'll do a few more of these. And not everyone's practice looks the same. Okay. I love about yoga is that we don't ever compare, and it's not ever competitive. It's about an inquiry into yourself. Honing your awareness. Last one. And we'll finish, just lift the heart and stay for a breath or two. And then come up. Okay, so into soft dog. And the reason I call it soft dog is, if you know this already, just start your process of moving into your dog. But soft dog is, because I want it to be not this static pose. It's, again, come back to that inquiry. So you're using the posture just as a sort of template. And you're padding your feet, moving your hips, feeling into that weight through your hands, but kind of almost that rebound as you lift up through your lower back. And it, you don't have, it's whatever, however you want to move. However you want to move. And then taking that idea of a soft pose, and then we can challenge ourselves here because we're going to come into plank. And of course, plank is often like really quite challenging and static. So we have this strength required as we come into plank. Encourage the shoulder blades down. You almost have that kind of feeling that you're hollowing out your armpits. And then from our kind of inner steel that we find as we move into plank, there's that softness again. And we pad the feet, walking the feet. It's quite nice to roll the feet all the way around. Check that your jaw is soft and that your face is soft. Take your feet, walk them as wide as the mat, and then start just to sway. So you're shifting the weight to the left foot, left hand, and then over to the right side. Lengthen your tailbone and let your core really support you. Of course, if you need a break, let the knees come down. Whew. So we let the knees come down, give the wrists a bit of a movement and release. And then we'll start with a little, head into sort of a slightly more challenging thing to do. And again, if you're working with wrist injuries or wrist rehab, don't do this. And also, if they're really bad, your wrists, but you want to get involved a little bit with the planks and the dogs, you can always do it with forearms. Okay. So from our soft plank, we find that inner strength, and then see if we can take a hand off and reach the right arm forwards. Okay, might be a little bit of shaking involved. Hand down. Let's see if we go for the other side. Hand down. Just to have a bit of release between going from the hand lifting to the feet lifting. Let's lift up back into dog and have a release. Back into our soft plank, but we take the right leg and just lift it, the foot, toe view, then to, 20 centimeters from the floor. Shaking is good. The muscles going, really? Really? Okay, brilliant. And then have that lovely last stretch in our soft dog. And then we come forward into plank, knees down. Slowly lower yourself to the floor. Give ourselves a little break for our wrists. Into crocodile. So the forehead rests on the hands. Okay, bend the right leg and just let the foot sort of do, the shin windscreen wiper. Just on this right side. So let it switch side to side. And then keep it straight up and let the foot circle round. Go one way and then the other. Don't forget to wiggle the toes. And then point and flex. Push the heel up, push the toes up. So now a little bit more effort required as we take the sole of the foot and press up. So perhaps the front of the thigh leaves, the front of the thigh on the right side leaves the floor, maybe only just a little bit. Really, you can probably feel this straight away into your right buttock. And then bring it down. You can take a little, if you need a little shake out of that leg before we go to the other side. So bend the left, do the same, kind of windscreen wiper it. Just on the one side. Okay, circle the foot. Go both ways. Ooh, click. And then point and flex. Rising ankles. Point and flex. Toe wiggle. And then lift it. So you're really isolating that work in the left buttock, probably hamstring too.
Sole of the foot pressing up. You keep your left hip bone down though, that front hip bone. And down. Okay, bend both. The double windscreen wiper, swish. And then I'm just going to have to not turn my head for this one, but probably you've got your head facing down anyway, so that's good. And then we take both legs up. Okay, keep the knees bent, firing up your glutes, but it's also important to really feel that tailbone is lengthening. You're engaging your core, and then stretch the legs out as far as they'll go and bring them down. Okay, and then just take that hip roll. Okay, we're going to work on the upper body. Bring the arms down by your sides before we lift, and just get comfortable. Okay, lengthen the tailbone, lengthen the tailbone. We need to engage this whole energy belt around our center as we lift up. Keep the palms facing up. Lift up and hold. Okay, pressing, using the legs as an anchor. So you're engaging the legs, pressing them down, lifting and hold. Ease your way down. It's a great way to strengthen your back. But, just every time, don't overdo it, particularly if you're just building strength. And every time you need to release, either hip side to side, and of course you can come into like child's pose, you can use a bit more release. Okay, so we come up again. This time our hands are going to be just floating above the buttocks. Palms are facing up. Okay, keep that lift through the upper body, legs engaged. And then we slowly take the right hand forwards. And as we do, we rotate so the palm faces down as it reaches forwards. And then slowly bring it back. Rotate it so the palm is then facing up. Do the same on the other side. Brilliant. Keep lifting. Take a break when you need to. But sometimes we need to challenge ourselves just a little bit to gain strength. It's like we were listening to our neck earlier. I can now, and you can probably the same, hear your shoulders. Have a rest. Come down. If you need child's pose, then you've got time always to move into child's pose. But if this is enough of a release, then just let the hips go side to side. And there's also this. Okay, legs down. So lengthen your tailbone and come up. We'll just do a couple more of those. Let's see if we can do both together. So let the hands up, they're hovering, and then slowly we bring the arms forwards, turn the palms down, and just stay and hold. And then we slowly bring them down. Great for the shoulders, have a rest. Whew. It's quite nice for the belly, this. Little gentle pressure, rocking. Okay, so now what we do is we combine them. So the hands reach back, but before we take the ankles and kind of use any kind of bind, just see how much you can lift your legs off, and then maybe you reach back, take hold of the front of the ankles, and the feet push higher. Maybe get a little bit more lift into our bow pose. And you know that any variation of this, so if you're not bowing, you can still stay with this locust, the safest of the back bends. And then when you're ready to come down from bow, ease your way, hands down. Slowly come up. Let your spine find that length and space once again. Reach the fingertips forwards.
and then rise. So after back bend, it's nice to do a twist. And we will enter into our twist via down dog, getting a bit of a stretch for the legs as we go. So let's take the right leg and reach the right leg up. Then bring it between the hands, that right foot. And we're going to step the left in and bring that left knee, the back knee, to the outside edge of the front foot. And then sit. Great. Okay, and if that doesn't feel right, then of course you can have the foot on the outside edge of the leg. Okay, both sitting bones ground. You inhale and you lift and lengthen, and you exhale, wrap the left around that front knee and rotate. Good. Staying for about 3 breaths. Then hands come down. So firstly you step the left back, then you take that right and reach it up and back. Before changing sides, left leg all the way up. Step it forwards. Bring the back knee to the outside edge of that front foot. And land. Sitting bones down. Okay, rise through the spine, wrap the right arm around that front knee. You inhale, lift, and exhale, rotate. Stay for 3 breaths. And then release. Hands down. Step the right foot back and the left. Reach it up and back. Good. Okay, let's walk the feet forwards. So we're in a forward bend. Have the feet parallel, hip width. Fingertips to the floor, or if you've got your knees bent, and if you need a softer forward bend, then hands can come here onto your forearms onto the shins. But what I'd like you to explore is really shifting the weight side to side. So letting the hips sway. Let the head fall, crown of the head reaches down. Little softness in the knee is really nice. Nice just to also move the head a little. And then roll, slowly roll all the way up to stand. Coming to the, you roll your way up and fairly close to the front of your mat. Okay. Right, step back with the right foot. Both legs stay straight. Try not to lock the front knee. Hands just onto your hips, because we're going to hinge from our hips. And as we hinge slowly down, but to feel that the spine stays kind of long and with a lot of length. But as we come forward, you need this energy belt round your center to be really switched on. Try not to collapse your shoulders forwards. So the deepest we get in this is no deeper than parallel with the floor with our spine. And then we hold, just stay with it. Okay, you don't have to go all the way parallel, because it's, just slowly coming down with control. It's not about a forward bend, it's not about getting your nose on your knee, which is lucky. Then soften that front knee, lift up a little bit, and we're going to step into tree pose. So we pick up our right foot, and then place it above or below that standing knee, the left leg. Okay, I'm just going to spin around so you can see. So we're in tree pose, but I want us to challenge ourselves by rolling your shoulders. Ooh. It might cause you to wobble a bit, but this is the challenge. Ooh, good. And then we take the arms up, reach the arms wide, lift the heart. I'm just going to spin around because I'm going to step back in a bit. Okay. Good. The hands slowly come together and sink down the center line of the body, landing, coming to the heart. And then we leave the foot from the leg and the knee is forwards. So we're going to move into a standing twist. Left hand around the outside of that front leg. Rotate, turn your rib cage all the way to the right. Reach the right arm back. Try to stay steady as you can. Good. Come back. Hands onto your hips again. Keep that leg there. So we move from here and we transition, take that leg back. Flying dragon. Reach the arms back, reach the legs back, palms face down. Then when you're ready, you step that right foot to the floor. And a little visitation to warrior one. Okay, step up, give the legs a shake. Left leg, when you're ready, steps back, hands onto the hips, keep that kind of integrity in the spine as we hinge from the hip joints forwards. If you know you're prone to locking your joints, like the knees and then just be mindful not to lock the front knee. That's a tendency here, or can be. Keep breathing. Feel that strength is here, you're kind of radiating strength from your center. Halfway, you come up, you soften that front knee, we're stepping into tree pose. Tree pose. Foot above or below the knee joint, it does not matter where it is. And because we did it on the other side, let's see if we can have a little bit of movement, roll our shoulders. Because it's good to move your body in a manner of many different ways. Challenge the balance. If we always do static, still poses, then we're kind of not doing enough, not giving ourselves an opportunity. Ooh. Okay, no such thing as perfect balance, really, remember that. Reach up, take the arms wide. There's a real joy in tree pose. So lift your heart. The hands come down, lowering our center of gravity. It's easier to balance, and then that leg comes forwards. Okay, we're taking the right hand, so the opposite hand comes to the outside of that front knee. And rotate your rib cage round, reach the arm back. Stay as steady as you can. This is great work for our ankles. Not strong ankles. Right, so then we bring the body forwards. The leg is still there. We're coming into flying dragon. So we take the leg back, reach it back. Arms by your sides, palms face down. Preparing ourselves, whoops, to step back. It's okay if we fall out of poses. She says, it is absolutely. Step back, warrior one. Reach the arms up, reach the heart up. Lovely way to give the body a good stretch after all that intensity. Okay, hands down. This time we'll step back and have a little bit of a wiggle through the hips. Let the spine move. You need to rotate your feet, roll them round. If, when I say down dog, so release, you can for sure hear child's pose. And then we walk forwards again, coming into our forward bend.
So this time in our forward bend, and I would encourage a little softness in the knee. Let's take hold of the opposite elbow joint and just let the head sort of hang in between the upper arms. So we're not pulling ourselves deeply into our forward bend, we're just letting the weight of the upper body draw down just a little bit, feet firmly planted. And then soften the knees and roll. Okay, so we're going to do that sequence that we've just done, but with a little bit more intensity and with a few more options to challenge yourself further. So if you've got, you might want to get a belt, any kind of belt, doesn't have to be a special yoga belt, but a belt, dressing gown, cord, tea towel, whatever might work, possibly. Or you can just think, oh, I'll just do it without, okay? So it's entirely up to you. Right, so we're going to start. Take the right leg back. So arms down by your sides, palms facing forwards, and then we hinge forwards, bringing the spine down like a table, flat tabletop. Don't let the shoulders collapse forwards. Strong from your center. Breathe, Ujjayi breathing. And then we soften that front knee. Come up just a little way. We're stepping into that tree. So we start with tree. And we'll just stay with the hands down. Because what I want us to do, this is where we can either hook a belt or tea towel round the foot on this right side, so you've got an extension, or you can just take hold of the big toe. Okay, so however you're holding your foot, keep your chest lifted, and then we move that knee out to the side. You're going to need to use, if I spin round, you're going to need to use this other arm as a kind of counterweight to help us balance. So if you've got your strap round your foot, you're holding the strap, obviously, and then we just start to see if we can head towards straightening. It doesn't have to be straight, it could just be like you're staying here with it, it's absolutely fine. Okay, you're using a lot of energy just to stay here, and then maybe you start to straighten. Okay, taking it out to the side. Good. It's also really useful if you've got something to hold on to. Suddenly that becomes a lot easier. Okay, good. So wherever we are, we then bring the leg forwards. Don't force the leg to be straight. We bring the leg forwards, but we're going to swap hands. So if you're holding the belt in the right hand, you take the belt or cord in your left hand, or you take hold of your foot around the outside edge with the left hand. We're moving into the standing twist. So I'll move back to face this way. Legs forward. And just so you know, the other variation is this, which we've already done, which you can take this option, or straightening the leg. If you want another challenge, you slowly take your gaze and look to the back thumb. Whoop. It's quite challenging though. Okay, head back. And then you let the foot go and you let the leg stay there. Okay? Let the leg stay there. I know this is hard. And then we slowly step it all the way back and come to warrior one. Just to get that lovely stretch and release through that front body. Let the arms slowly come down. You know, we have to check in between sides. So this standing foot needs a little bit of tension. Give it a shake, then step it back. So left foot's back, front leg straight. Slowly hinge forwards.
Keep breathing. Try not to collapse shoulders. Keep breathing. Tendency can be to lift this big toe joint, but keep it rooted, the front big toe joint. Halfway up, step into that standing leg. Tree. So we get settled, find our prop, if we're going to use a prop. And then either it's the strap round this foot or holding the big toe. And just take the leg out, step by step. We don't always, I mean, that's the beauty. We are where we are with our yoga. So even if you're just staying here, finding that little bit of peace. Somewhere between here and here. Doesn't matter. But breathe. Hold on to something if you need to. It's fab to use walls, sides of sofas, the beauty of practicing at home. Then slowly we take the leg forward, whether the knee's bent or not. Swap. So just to give you those options, knee bent, you're swapping and bringing the right hand around the front and coming into that standing twist, or holding the strap or the outside edge of that foot and coming into the twist. And then we step back. Good. Oh, we missed something out. I was thinking that this front foot needed a break. This means we have to come back into it because we missed out this bit where we hold the leg forwards. It's the left leg I'm looking at. Good. Oh dear, I can tell I'm not very straight. Never mind. And then we step back. Okay, not every yoga pose looks the same in everybody. Reach the arms up, just feel that feeling of this being a real counter stretch, this opening and stretching and releasing up. And then come down. Hands down, slowly slide that leg down, back, knees to the floor, and pause. Breathe out, soften. Let the forehead come down, let the arms rest down by your sides. It's quite nice for the arms and shoulders to have this as just a different stretch, different release from the arms reaching forwards in child's pose. Okay, good. Most of the hard work is done now. Okay, we're back down onto the floor. So from our child Balasana, we rise and make our way all the way back down again. Have your right arm down by your side, just a little way, not too close to the body, because you're going to roll onto your right side in a moment. And the left hand kind of out by the side of the head, not next to the head, but so you can press into that left hand in a minute. Bend the left knee. So we roll onto our right side, and that left leg comes over. Let's see if we can bind our hand and foot. So we've got a lying twist. Binding left foot to right hand.
And then let the bind be released and roll back. Let the left arm release down, right hand flat to the floor by the head. Bend the right leg and then roll onto your left side. Catch that foot. Good. And then roll back. Roll back. And roll onto your back. Okay, so this is the bit where we delight in rest. Squeeze the knees up to the chest just to release anything that might be remnants of tension there. Hopefully not, but you know, we do need to be really aware of our yoga practice. Being, you know, you can injure yourself in yoga just as you can move your body anyway. So roll your legs around, feel into your lower back and back of the pelvis and the hips. This is a great inquiry. And then we can take this further. I mean, if you're just really loving this, stay with this. But we can go to happy baby, and the hands at the back of the knees a bit wider. And again, roll around. Or hands to the outside edge of the feet. But if your lower back then lifts too much, then go back to this. Because you want to kind of really feel that all the way up and down the spine as you rock side to side. Physical therapy is what this is. It's also just nice. Okay, one last twist. Right leg down, left leg across. We're not forcing it to the floor, just taking it across, encouraging that both shoulders to stay anchored. So in fact, this is the lying down version of that standing twist we were just doing. And I've got a wall in the way, but you could straighten your leg out and hold on to the foot if you required to be, if you wanted. Roll back, straighten the left out, bring the right over, anchor the shoulders down. So we're heading to relaxation, rest. Make sure that you're going to be warm enough. It's important that you don't get cold. Excuse me. So socks, layers, you know, any overhead lighting that you want to turn off, or if you've got, you know, one of those eye pillows, which actually can be made out of a sock and some rice, if you wanted to. Not now though, but okay. Just take a few breaths. Great. So you can hear the drilling of something outside, just reminding me that the world never stops. So we have to train ourselves
just to do our yoga practice, whatever is happening outside. And I know that if you've got young children, it's really hard. And we've got teenagers, they're generally asleep in the morning, but young children around, you just have to relax around them. I know that when mine were little, I would just carry on doing my yoga. And they soon got bored of clambering all over me. Well, sometimes. Anyway, just have to carry on. Find time to rest. Make it a priority, whatever's happening. To feel your body on the floor. Feel your body on the floor. And it's amazing when you really let yourself feel and let yourself rest. You do discover a sort of deeper feeling of relaxation. Feel your body on the floor. Be soft in your belly, soft in your face, open in your heart. Let the breath be that anchor that you use to keep yourself present. So as you breathe, all your focus is with your breath, following it. How does it feel? Be interested in your breath. It's your greatest ally. So you make it your friend. Get to know it as well as you can. So stay resting on the floor. I'm going to read a poem. Let the words just wash over you. You take in whatever it is that you're ready to absorb. It's called Allow by Dana Falls. There is no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in, the wild and the weak, fear, fantasies, failure and success. When loss rips off the doors of your heart, or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes. So we begin just to gently move and awaken. Take your time to stretch and come round and yawn. We'll seal the practice together. And even though we're not all in the same room, it's an amazing connection, I think, to feel that we are a community of yogis moving, practicing, breathing together, even though we're not geographically together. So thank you so much for practicing today. Namaste. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Good.